Oh boy, I like this tank, and that may come as a pretty big shock to many of you because it is the polar opposite of my playstyle, which has always been DPM and mobility and just wrecking things with that. But I find this tank quite unique, and its ability of dumping damage to be very good at dumping damage, pretty much. So, hello everyone, HisRoyalFatness here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be playing live games in the M-Vi-Yoh. This is the brand new American Tier 9 auto-loading heavy tank that is a little bit controversial. Firstly, its looks. I'm not going to jump into that. Looks are looks. How does the tank perform? Well, a lot of people really dislike this tank because it has 1,900 damage per minute. It's pretty slow. Its armor is troll, but it's not as effective as you think it would be. And because of that, people think it's a bad vehicle, but I think it's being placed in the wrong scenarios in this sense. It's not a brawling heavy tank. It's not a holding heavy tank. It's a damage dealing heavy tank. And that's a very key fact about this vehicle that you need to understand. Position is key. It always is key, but with this vehicle, it is particularly important where you place yourself to maximize every single clip to dump damage. Now, here is the first game. It is on Dead Rail. This is actually a very good map for the M-Vi-Yoh, especially in a tier 9 matchup for me because I can just go mid here and dump shells into the enemy team. Now, M-Vi-Yoh does have two guns. You can run the 105mm or you can run the 120mm. I'm running the 120mm, and I think you would have to be a little bit insane to choose the 105 over the 120 on this vehicle because the 120 really is what makes this tank click. Without it, it's bad. I agree. Without the 120, there's nothing special about this vehicle. But the fact that you can jump 900 damage out in 2 seconds or 1.7 seconds, like look at this ML. He's just crossing up here. Okay, good for him. He puts one shot into me. I've dealt 890 back. We pull back. That's a ton of damage to deal there. And the fact is, you can pretty much out-trade most vehicles you run against with that kind of damage output. Now, I'm just going to back up here, make sure I don't get pressured by the ML1 here. Looks like there's a Progetto on our flank. We will need to keep an eye on that little bugger there. But I think what I can do here is probably start working down this ML2. So, gonna wait for this ML2 to start pulling up again, as he is doing right now, and we're gonna pop one heat shell into his turret, and we're gonna pop 2 heat shells into his turret, and there we go, 1,700 damage dealt. Now, I have taken 2 shots here and lost a good amount of my hit points, but all in all, in terms of trading, this ML2 has never been able to get more than 1 shot into me at a time, and that's the true advantage of this gun, is that you can almost always deal 900 and only take 1 shot in return. So it looks like this Progetto has made some massive mistakes over here. He's going down pretty quickly. AT-15 has pushed up pretty aggressively. I am now spotted. I'm not quite sure. Okay, it's the Progetto that spotted me. I'm going to sit back for now. The enemy team still have a border sig and an ISU. And I think judging by how our T-34 was nuked there, they're in that spawn. At least one of them is in that spawn. So I'm going to push up towards the right-hand side here. It's going to be a little risky because if they have a TD in that bush, they will be able to shoot me. But I want to see if there's a way for me to quickly clear this ML here. So let's pop 1 shell into him, pick up a nice kill shot. We found one of the enemy snipers. It is a VK-90. I'm just going to load a heat shell here just for reliability purposes. He damaged my gun. Uncool. So we have 2,100 damage dealt here. That's not too bad. Just going to pull back, and here's where the tank can be painful. And I think this is where a lot of people are going to really dislike this vehicle. It's the fact that you're doing this forever. 26 seconds, in fact, of just sitting around waiting for your magazine to reload. And that's why it's really important to make sure you have allies supporting you when you're in this vehicle, because if you push in by yourself and you get pressured, that's not great for you. Now, AT-15 did make the wise decision of pulling down from there. There's the T-34. I wonder if the AT-15 is going to back up eventually, right? In which case, I might be able to dump a magazine into him. He's going to pull back. Okay, no, he's not pulling back. We know where the VK is. I'm not spotted, which is good. And I think the ISU or Borsig are in spawn 2 of the enemy. Now we can see the T-34 maybe backing out here. Not yet. Okay. Well, he might still back out into the open, so I'm just going to pre-aim this for now, and it's all about patience. Oh, the VKB, I just missed my opportunity to shoot him. What a Muppet tunnel vision by me. I'm just going to hold this spot for now. We are up 3-1, but those TDs could still pretty much double tap me here, so I'm going to take it easy. T-49 is probably going to spot up the one of their TDs, or at least the T-34 in a moment, so we're just going to hold here. Just going to wait patiently. Patience is key. And I know this is boring for you guys. Yes, it's boring for me too. But we get 1 shot into the T-34, and we get 2 shots, pick up a kill just like that. And we've already dealt 3,000 damage. You see, it's not hard to deal damage in this vehicle, and as I had predicted, there are the 2 tank destroyers in that right corner. I saw that because our T-34 lost so much HP on this side where the TDs wouldn't hit him. Those are little things it's good to keep an eye on, because knowing that will definitely help you poke more comfortably in certain positions, and that's why I was more comfortable working this right-hand corner, using this building as cover from their TDs, than I was on the other side. So I think it's time to push up. Now here is the Borzig. Let's pop a quick kill shot into his tank here. I think the VKB is going to die before I can reload my magazine again, so let's just wait here for him to shoot or get himself spotted, and that'll be about 3,700 or so damage dealt. So he's about to get himself spotted. There he is. We're just going to load up a heat shell here. There we go, 475 max roll, and that's 3,700 damage dealt. Now this was a pretty ideal situation for the M-Vi-Yoh. I was hull down. It was in a tier 9 matchup. The enemy team wasn't superb, and I'll be honest, I do not really enjoy sweep games. They just don't feel fun and satisfying like I did much, but 3,700 or so damage, that is pretty close to my average in this vehicle, so I'm happy with that, and we're going to continue working down this approach. Now, I said positioning was key. Not every single game is positioning going to be key. Of course, you did see me working the mid-ridge pretty well there, but that's a very generic position where the fact that I was top tier, the fact that I kind of knew where their TDs were located, and the enemy team wasn't great where I could just work the mid there, really allowed me to farm quite easily. But what I want to show you guys, and hopefully the next game and map will provide us with that information, is how to play in more of an interesting situation. Okay, you know what? This is a very kind of generic map. Now let's look at the enemy's lineup. They have an M-Vi-Yoh, a KBF Z70, a 112, an M-3-Yoh. That's a lot of heavies. We have a lot of heavies too, I guess. Well, we have 3 heavy tanks, all 3 of which are Yohs. Big surprise, post-update. I think what I'm going to try and do here is see if I can get my allies to support me on the boat. Come on, someone has to come and support me on the boat. Come on, you guys can do it. Okay. So I was going to go ship, but I have decided that this is a bad idea. Now, I wanted to hold the corner of the boat and just peekaboom people, which works really well, but that's not the situation. My team decided they didn't want to come this way. I'm fine with that. I just have to adapt. Now, our poor T20 defender here hasn't quite gotten the memo that, hey, our whole team's just wandering around in the mid. I'm going to wander around in the mid too, because that's probably where I'm going to be most secure and have the most team support. Here's the KPF Z70. Okay. Interesting. That's 1 heavy tank already spotted up. He is on A cap. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before the enemy team starts sending tanks pretty aggressively through the boat. So let's see. No, there's 1 heavy tank on the other side. You know what? That's an M-Vi-Yoh over there. This KPF is semi-ISO, isn't he? Aha! M-3-Yoh gets spotted. So let's pop 1 shell into his tank there, and let's pop a. Oh no! Oh, that was kind of a Muppet play by me. That was a Muppet play. I got stuck. Okay. We should have had 900 damage on the M-3-Yoh there, who decided to poke me twice, which is not a great idea, but now we see where the most of the enemy team is. So they have some heavy tanks over here on A. Oh, there's a 112 as well. And I don't want to ditch our defender anymore. I was going to ditch him, but I decided, you know what? We need to support this defender. He's about to get pressured pretty hardcore here. Here's the M3. Pop 1 shell into him. He's going to pull back to try and put another shell. Let's put another shell into him and pull forward. And, well, there's all of their tank destroyers as well. So I have not played this great at all, but in the end, we're still in a decent spot here. Okay, here's what I'm gonna... Okay, I can't back up this route. I can't back up this way. I'm just gonna keep holding here. You see we have an SU-130 coming back for support. And hopefully this SU will be able to stay and help me long enough to kind of not get YOLO'd and die here. That's the plan at least. So let's see what we can do about that. Here's the KPF in the open. Let's pop 1 shell into his tank, 480. Let's pop another shell into his tracks there, keep him at bay. He is now a 1-shot, and my SU's here for support. That's the reason why I'm comfortable sitting here at the moment, is I do have some support in the form of the SU. KPF is probably not going to poke me here. And you can see the ISU is now pushing in. So we're going to pop our engine boost and just start backing out of this corner here. And yeah, I mean, this isn't too hard of a game. I just kind of floated around the mid. I was very indecisive this battle. I will be honest with you on that. But it's just because I didn't know what I wanted to do, because my team was kind of all over the place. And you know what? Let's pick up a quick kill on this KPF here. And let's pop a shell into this AT-15 as well. We've probably dealt close to 3,000 damage already. Yeah, 3,000 damage dealt already. And 1 more clip will put me just about 4K if their team can stay alive long enough to give me that clip, which they won't. So 3,000 damage again. Not a bad result. We're just going to chill for now. There's nothing much for me to do. Oh, this ISU is stuck. Bless the poor soul. And here's the AT-15. Please give me at least 1 shot. That's all I need. 1 or more shells, my guy. I'll be happy. There we go. 3,500 damage. Okay. Gosh, I was all over the place. But, I mean, that's the realistic nature of these games. Sometimes you're indecisive, and I just kind of wandered into the middle there, and, well, 3,500 damage dealt. One thing I will note is I didn't commit to the boat, and I still think that was the right decision to make there, because committing to the ship would have made me also a recipient, I can't English right now, of the YOLO of their 3 heavy tanks up top. Some Pepega shooting on my part as well, but for the most part, we have been dealing about 3,500 or so average in this tank, which is really good. I mean, that's solid numbers. For a tank with 1,900 damage per minute, that is solid. Now, mind you, both of these games have been semi-steamrolls and therefore not interesting and not very important about positioning. It was just about where I could deal damage on the enemy team while they're kind of wandering all over the place. But here is a map where positioning could be essential for me. So it is Winter Malinovka, and there's a lot that can go down on this map. Immediately, I've noticed a disadvantage that my team faces. The enemy team have a Vickers and a Skoda. We only have an M46 Pan. So that means our medium tanks are at a disadvantage on the left-hand side here. In fact, I don't think the M46 is even going to go left. The issue with the M-vi-yoh, and I'm sorry if I've been calling it M6 once again, keep thinking it's M6, but it's M5, is that it's hard to chase meds. I mean, your top speed's what, 33, and you're stuck there, and yeah, you just can't chase meds. You don't have the DPM to deal with meds. So generally, you want to fight heavy tanks. It's usually the safer route to take this vehicle. Is just to farm out their heavy tanks. So we're going to try and spot up the crossing here. Here is an E100. First shot goes into Narnia, and oh, E100 is still looking. Let's pop a second shell into him. Okay, that's not a great start. If I had gotten those 2 shots off for 900 right off the bat, that would have been an excellent start to this battle, but that's not the case. And my team is also being pretty passive here. So what can I do about this? Grill's kind of panicking. We're going to have double meds pushing in behind us very, very soon, as the Skoda has already been spotted pulling in behind my team, and I wonder if I can get any assistance killing this Skoda T50 here. So we're going to start pressuring back, and I know my rear is a little bit exposed here, so let's pop 1 shot into the Skoda here. Let's try and aim for his fuel tanks maybe. Not quite, but we do pop 2 shells into him, and now the M46 and Gorilla are coming back to deal with this dude. That's great. So yeah, turning back here was the right decision just to get our rear safe. I think the Vickers is probably going to panic and pop up their mid and not go where their Skoda just got absolutely annihilated. Looks like the enemy's E100 is being taken care of. There's the Vickers in the mid. Did just call that, and there he is. And maybe we can get a shell into this Vickers if we're able to reload in time. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. Nope. I missed my fire button. Shot too early. I shot too early before my magazine was reloaded and I scoped out. It's a habit. It's a bad habit, by the way. Scoping out right after you shoot can actually be very unfortunate sometimes. Okay. M-vi-yoh. He's kind of ISO. Oh, there's a grill. Let's aim for a track shot here. It's kind of a joke right now, just how much the gun's trolling me right now. Okay, 1,500 damage blocked. I should have like 2,500 damage here, but here I am at 1,200. Oh dear. What can I do about it but complain? Okay, so we're just going to keep chilling here. There's still a lot of farm potential left in this battle. The M5 is panicking and dropping down. That's perfectly fine. He's getting pressured here. Can't say I blame him at all for doing that. But, ooh, E100 could provide me with some interesting damage in just a moment. Is he going to back out in front of me? I don't think he is. He's going to hold safe there. And so is the grill. Oh, that's a VK72. There we go. M-vi-yoh on my left here. We're going to pop some shells down. 1 shot into him, taking his tracks off here. 2 shots into him, 9-10. And that's what I was waiting for. That's why I wasn't like just going to turn around and drive into him, because there's a grill right here that'd crossfire me. There's still a bunch of healthy heavy tanks there, and I needed to assist our chieftain here, killing the Yoh, because he didn't have a ton of hit points, right? Unfortunately, M46 Pan goes down there, and let's try and not get spotted by the E75, so he thinks he's safe when he backs up. He's going to sit there, probably trying to tunnel, or not. Let's see, maybe the VK will make the mistake of pulling out sideways. Come on, pull forward just a millimeter. The VK doesn't commit. Unfortunate. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Here is the E75. Let's pop 1 shell into him, and let's pop a second shell. Just missing it. 2,600 damage dealt. Okay, so the guns trolled me. And this is another aspect about the Yoh I should also explain. The gun on this thing is not meant for distance gameplay. Do not use it in distance gameplay, okay? You're going to find yourself getting, oh dear, brained on quite hard if you try using it in any form of distance. I still have a grill behind me, so if the enemy team try pushing up here, it's a bad idea for them. VK might start pressuring me here, which is fine. I can accept that. Let's see if we can. Okay, he's gonna look over at the grill. Let's pop 1 shot into his tracks, and you know what, since it's a close game, I'm gonna pick up the kill on the E75 there, just to try and make this game a little bit less close. And you know, I have felt pretty useless this game, and if I had hit my shells there, some of them were poorly aimed, some of them was just enjoyable RNG. But I just had to kind of take it easy this game and be patient. That's one thing you have to be with this vehicle is you can't overcommit and just bleed your HP for no reason. You're trading heavy, but trade when it suits you. Trade on your own terms. For instance, this VK pushing in. Pop one shell into him here. Just pop a second shell into him. 800 pick up the kill. And 3,800 damage dealt. Okay. None of these games were spectacular. This was a much more interesting game, and I think we made the right plays there. Popping up the mid to get that initial clip off. No, we did not pen any of those shells, but if we had penned those at the start, that would have been a great start to the game. Pulling back to clear our flank, knowing where the Vickers would just run away because he would get scared, and working down the mid there. Simple, straightforward stuff. And throughout this entire session, we've averaged probably about 3,700 or so in the Yoh. I have about 3,650 average in this tank at about 75 games. So as you can see, excuse me, Bobetti coming through. The tank's quite solid, and you can deal damage very easily in it. Just go to positions where you're going to farm, don't bleed unnecessarily, clip, pull back, be in a position to find another clip, and deal the same thing. I'm not super happy with how I played these games, but we're playing it live, and this is the realistic gameplay right here of me playing the Yoh. No fancy 5 or 6 or 8,000 damage aces here, but all solid performance games. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully I was able to give you some good insight on how to work the M-Vi-Yoh. I know the DPM can be painful, and I know it can be very slow at times, but just put yourself in the right spot and you're easily going to deal 3,000 damage if you're just patient and worked on the positionings well. Now, I will mention briefly that you may have noticed this is not a how to play or generic like my old school videos, and that's just because those videos just weren't really working with me anymore. I put a lot of time into those videos. Let me just explain briefly. I would script the introduction, I would capture the live gameplay, but I was very selective of what live gameplay I would use because my whole thing about how to plays is I had to provide you gameplay that was super instructive, like stuff that could teach you really good stuff, which I'm all about, but it's not necessarily easy. Right? Sometimes it would take me like 45 to an hour to get 3 games that would teach you good stuff. That's just not convenient. Instead, what I'm going to do now is just be realistic. We're just going to play 3 games right after I do my introduction. No fancy edits or anything like that, because the old how to play videos took me about, from start to finish, 5 hours to make. No kidding. That's a lot of time for a 15-minute video. I think it's going to be much better this way. I'm going to be able to post much more often. I'm hoping for 2 to 3 plus videos a week, plus 2 streams a week. I think that will be pretty solid, and it'll help you guys, I'll help the channel grow, and of course you guys will get more content, which I think it's great. And I'm still able to cover the essentials of the how to play. Nothing will change about the channel's video type. 3 live games of where I explain how to play a vehicle. That's always going to be the foundation. It's just the way I'm doing them and the amount I uphold myself to, the amount of detail, the amount of precision, and how constructive a video is not going to be as intense anymore as it used to be, because that just wasn't working. I got video burnt out very fast doing that. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of the new kind of video format. It's not really changed a lot. It's just going to make life easier on me. And so thank you so much for watching today's video. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you all another day.
On the mix.